Let's talk about Skirk, one of the most anticipated characters coming in 5.7. With all the leaks we've seen so far, her kit looks incredibly unique, bringing a mix of on-field and off-field DPS mechanics, a clone system, and a signature artifact set that seems perfectly tailored for her playstyle. If you're looking to save up to 23% on the current banners, check out LootBar.gg. Here, I'm buying the 6,480 Genesis Crystals pack for $79, while it costs $100 in-game, saving me $21 instantly. The top-up process is super simple. I just entered my UID and selected my server. In less than 5 minutes, the gems appeared in my account. As you can see, I received double the amount for my first purchase, just like with in-game top-ups. Beyond Genshin, you can also top up in Honkai Star Rail, and LootBar has over 50,000 satisfied users. I regularly use LootBar for my giveaways, so I can personally recommend it. New users can get an extra 8% discount from the link in the description. At the core of her mechanics is her elemental skill, which summons a mirror image clone that mimics her attacks and inherits her stats. Once she activates her skill, she can choose between 2 different attack modes, a mechanic similar to Chiori's dual mode skill. One mode lets Skirk unleash very high-frequency normal attacks, with the clone attacking in sync with her, making her an aggressive on-field DPS. The second mode is where things get really interesting. Here, Skirk and her clone deliver a single high multiplier attack, much like Mavuika's elemental burst, and then she is forced to switch out. However, her clone remains on the field, occasionally attacking at a very low frequency, making this an off-field DPS playstyle. This means Skirk can either be played as a sustained melee fighter or as a burst nuke unit, depending on how you use her skill. Right now, there's no indication that she has a separate elemental burst, which raises the possibility that her second attack mode functions as her burst equivalent. Since it forces her to switch out, it suggests that the attack has a very high damage multiplier, allowing her to deal massive burst damage in one hit before another character takes over. One of the more unusual aspects of Skirk's kit is how her energy system works. Her energy starts at 0 by default, and while it's unclear whether she even needs energy or if she has a special way of generating it, the fact that both her signature weapon and artifact set are built around this mechanic suggests that this is an intentional design choice. Skirk's signature artifact set is specifically designed to maximize her damage based on her zero energy mechanic, making it the strongest option for her current kit. The 2-piece bonus provides a 15% cryo damage bonus, which is a straightforward but significant increase to her overall damage. The 4-piece effect is where things get interesting. If Skirk's energy is at 0, she gains a massive 60% boost, but the type of boost depends on the first action she takes. If she starts attacking with normal attacks, her normal attack damage is increased by 60%, but if she uses a burst-type attack instead, she gains 60% burst damage. However, these 2 buffs cannot be active at the same time. Once she commits to one type of attack, the other buff is disabled for 6 seconds. There was a misconception circulating that Skirk's kit would scale off HP, leading some players to believe they should pre-farm HP % artifacts ahead of her release in 5.5. However, this information has been proven false. Skirk does not scale with HP, meaning stacking HP % on her artifacts will not increase her damage. Instead, she functions like a traditional DPS, relying on attack %, crit rate, and crit damage for her main offensive stats. There's also speculation that one of her constellations will allow her to summon an additional clone, which could significantly increase her cryo application and reaction potential. Since we already know that her clone's attacks apply cryo, adding an extra clone could potentially double the cryo uptime, making her a strong contender for teams that rely on frequent cryo reactions. With all of these mechanics in mind, Skirk looks to have 2 major roles in a team. If played as an on-field DPS, she will be constantly attacking with her clone, creating a fast, aggressive melee playstyle. If played as an off-field burst DPS, she will unleash a high-damage attack and then swap out, letting the clone remain on the field for additional cryo damage, while another character takes over. Both of these playstyles seem viable, but given how her artifact set directly supports her mode-switching mechanic, she seems to be designed to make use of both playstyles, depending on the situation. Now the question is, who are the best supports for Skirk? One of the most promising options is Akefi, a cryo polearm support expected to release in version 5.6. Akefi comes with a coordinated attack skill, a healing burst, and a powerful resistance shred, making her an ideal support for Skirk. Akefi's elemental skill provides off-field cryo attacks, automatically applying cryo once every few seconds. Since Skirk's clone also applies cryo, this ensures steady cryo uptime, making it easier to maintain melt, freeze, or superconduct reactions. If Skirk is forced to switch out after using her burst mode attack, Akefi's cryo application ensures that cryo is still present, allowing for a consistent reaction setup. Her elemental burst is another game changer. Akefi provides team-wide healing, along with healing over time for a single target. What makes her healing unique is that it scales off her attack rather than HP, which is extremely rare. This could make her a surprisingly good sub-DPS, in addition to being a healer. For Skirk, this means she can stay on the field longer when using her high-speed, normal attack playstyle, while also providing sustained healing for the next character after Skirk switches out. One of Akefi's strongest traits is her negative 45% cryo and hydro-resistance shred, which applies only when the team consists of both cryo and hydro characters. This is one of the largest resistance reductions in the game, meaning Skirk's cryo attacks will deal significantly more damage. While Akefi looks like a top-tier support for Skirk, there are still some unanswered questions. Since Skirk starts at 0 energy, it's unclear whether she needs energy recharge or if Akefi can help with energy generation. There's also a potential issue with healing timing, since Skirk's burst mode forces her to switch, meaning Akefi's healing might not always be available at the right moment. Additionally, Akefi's kit is heavily focused on cryo and hydro synergy, so if you plan to run Skirk in a different team composition, Akefi might not be as useful. Overall, Skirk is shaping up to be a highly flexible and powerful cryo DPS, with a unique clone mechanic and strong synergy with cryo supports like Akefi. If her multipliers turn out to be strong, she could easily become one of the top cryo DPS units in the game, especially in reaction-based teams. If you're considering pulling for her, it'll be interesting to see how her final numbers and mechanics compare once she's officially revealed. Skirk's kit is definitely shaping up to be one of the most unique we've seen in a while, blending an on-field melee DPS style with an off-field burst nuke mechanic, all centered around her mirror image clone. The way her energy starts at 0 and interacts with her signature artifact set makes her feel like a character designed with a very specific playstyle in mind. But the real question is, does this version of her kit match what you expected for Skirk? With her signature artifact set being so specialized, it's clear that Hoyoverse intends for her to play a very specific role. Do you like how her kit is structured, or do you think there could be some hidden drawbacks? Let me know your thoughts. Would you pull for Skirk based on what we know so far? Save up to 23% on the current banners at lootbar.gg. All you need is your UID and server. The link is in the description.